Hello, I'm Mariam, and I'm sitting together with Rob, Nisarg, and Anna from our product team. Over the weekend, we released a new Llama model on our platform. So I wanted to sit together with the team behind the scene to see what it takes to get a state-of-the-art model out on day zero, the day that the model is announced to the market. But before that, Ram, let me ask you, what did we release on Llama on the platform?
So we released two models this weekend. We released Llama 4 Scout and Llama 4 Maverick. And they're both state-of-the-art mixture of experts models, and they're both multimodal models. Scout is the smaller of the two, and it comes in at about 100 billion parameters with 16 experts, and the larger model Maverick is around 400 billion parameters with 128 experts.
And how do the customers can use these models? Is it SaaS or on-premises or?
Something that's unique about the way IBM bring these models for us is we give our customers a choice. So they can run it in public cloud or private cloud, and we also offer a range of models. So in addition to the frontier models that we get from a provider like Meta, we also have our own very efficient, smaller model, Granite, and we offer third-party models like models from Mistral that are commercial and proprietary as well. So our customers always have a choice of what model they want to use. It's fit for their purpose.
That's wonderful. So flexibility in terms of where to deploy these models. Nisarg, let me ask you, what's the process to get a model out on day zero? You've been working with developers, designers, legal, researchers. Tell us what was going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, absolutely. So the process to get a model out isn't as simple as just hitting download and import. There's a whole host of stakeholders to work with. And the first part starts off with working with our legal, privacy, and ethics board in terms of understanding, hey, what is the license for this model? How do we use it? What's going into this model? The data being used to train it, and so on, right? And that's kind of across the Llama models that we onboard, the Mistral models, the Granite models, especially as well, right? So after that, there's a whole host of development-related activities that happen across our DevOps org, our development team, in terms of how do we enable customers to access these models in terms of the APIs that they're available through, as well as how do we run these models on various runtimes, hardware testing, and so on. Then there's a whole host of things that are happening in terms of, okay, now that we have these models running on our platform, how do we communicate to the public in terms of what's the messaging around these models, the kind of tutorials, which one of them Anna will walk you through here, that we want to get to. So it's really huge cross-functional exercise that kind of getting a model out on day zero is there. And ultimately, a lot of the work actually happens much longer and before a model is even out there. So for example, when Llama 3.2 was released with image input, right? We kind of expected, in the future, we'll have some kind of image-related model in. So months before we had started testing with some other open source models to get on the platform, to make the API changes, to make the changes to our SDKs, et cetera, to make sure that on day zero, that support is there and with relatively no hiccups available. So ultimately, it's a long, complicated process, but a lot of people, really hardworking people coming together to make sure it happens.
So Anna, you just used Llama 4 as a personal trainer. I would love that, to go to the gym and have AI to tell me what to do. Do you want to tell me more about that?
Yeah, so I'm super excited to share our latest tutorial. Essentially, it's an AI personal trainer that uses Meta Llama 4, Scout to be exact, and of course, we're using watsonx.ai. So I'll pass it over now to the tutorial on our IBM.com page. And a prerequisite for this tutorial is you'll need an IBM Cloud account, as well as a watsonx.ai project and API key. You will also need to associate a watsonx.ai runtime service instance with your project. And in terms of our dependencies, we can install our packages as seen here, as well as set up our credentials. So like I mentioned, that's your API key, that's your project ID, as well as the API endpoint. We can use the credentials class to encapsulate all of that. And then in step 4, we can set up the API request for the LLM. And so this takes in the user query as well as the image being passed. Next, we can set up our model inference. So we're using Llama 4 Scout. We're passing in our credentials, the project ID, as well as the model parameters. As for step 5, here is where we're passing in a directory consisting of multiple images for the model to take in as input. And so here we're just encoding these images so that they are in a form that the model can take in as input. For step 6, we are now able to categorize these images using the model. And so we're iterating over this directory of images that we encoded. And we're also asking the model to classify the image as showing either equipment or other. So if you think of an elliptical or a rowing machine, that would be equipment. If you think of like a Pilates mat, that would be other. And then next, we're also asking to categorize the actual items. So either a dumbbell, a barbell, a machine. And finally, we're classifying the workout type. So that's either strength, endurance, flexibility, balance, cardio, etc. And so here are the image descriptions produced by Llama 4 Scout. So we can see it identifies this is an elliptical, it's a machine, and it's used for cardio. Finally, for step 7, we can generate a workout plan. So in this step, we are enumerating these descriptions of these images. We're cleaning up any kind of unnecessary characters. And in this step, you'll also see we are asking the model to take in the user input. So this is going to be the workout type. So this can be strength, endurance, flexibility. In our example, we used cardio. And then we're also asking the user to input the length of time for the workout. So this can be 30 minutes, it can be an hour, it can be 2 hours, pretty much a lot of room for customization here. We're also asking for fitness level, so whether they're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced. So here, given these images, given our prompt, the model was able to correctly identify a workout that meets the user's needs. So you'll see here, we're recommended to do a cardio circuit of 30 minutes consisting of the treadmill, the elliptical, the exercise bike. Then there's a high intensity interval training for 20 minutes using the Stairmaster. And finally, we're cooling down for 5 minutes. And so as a fun last step, you're also able to go through this model output and extract any file names and also display those images. And so this pretty much encapsulates our latest tutorial using Llama 4. I think it's a really cool use case that I think many of us can maybe use for ourselves.
This is amazing. Maybe next time we should go to the gym together and program our AI personal trainers to orchestrate a joint workout for us.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So I guess after that, Miriam, I do have a question for you. How do we decide what models go on the platform on watsonx?
Very good question. Well, the market is evolving rapidly, and every day a new model comes to the market, right? The first question for us to evaluate a model is what problem it's solving. We are looking at the the customer use cases. We are looking into the capabilities that the model unlocks. So, for example, if the model is a new multimodal model that does image understanding, what kind of new use cases it unlocks. Some of the models they are enabling new languages. You know, we are a global company with requirements coming in from different countries on different languages. So when we look into a new model going to the market, we are evaluating every single aspects of what are the use cases that are going to be unlocked. And also we are looking into our existing portfolio to see if there are gaps that this model is going to solve and resolve. We also look into the potential demand because you mentioned, like our models, we have different delivery channels for the models. Model as a service, bring your own model, deploy on demand. So we need to look into potentially what are the demands for that model and what is the appropriate delivery channel for that. So it's a complicated scenario, but it's mostly driven by the client demand and customer demand and how the market is evolving. That was a fun conversation. Llama 4 is available on the platform today, Scout and Maverick. I encourage everyone to go to watsonx.ai. And if you're a developer, go to watsonx Developer Hub, looking for templates and accelerator to kickstart your development efforts. Have fun.